Hey y'all, it's Kayla. Quick little voiceover intro. As I was editing this video, I realized that I never gave this video a proper introduction. A little backstory. I am reading Iron Flame, and there was some drama with my Onyx Storm shipment. So this next clip is literally just me telling you about that drama. And after that, the rest of the video will make way more sense, but I realized that literally this first talking head clip just was very out of nowhere because there was no context. So, with all that noted, enjoy this reading vlog.
Amazon still hasn't updated the status of my delivery. It still says arriving today, but it hasn't been flagged as shipped yet. Yeah, that's how my week is going. It's just annoying. It's like frustrating because obviously I want to read the book, but it's mostly frustrating because I pre-ordered this back in November. So it's not like I hopped on the pre-order train last week or even at the beginning of the month. Like I literally pre-ordered this at the beginning of November. And why am I not getting it on the day that you guys initially said it was going to be delivered, which was technically yesterday, and now it's today. And I have zero expectation that I'm getting it today. Anyways, that's frustrating. So I think tonight we are going to read Iron Flame as much as I can get done because, again, I do still have like 200 pages of that left. And yeah, if I don't get Onyx Storm tonight, I'm just gonna go to Target and buy it. And, you know, will I have 2 copies of Onyx Storm? Yes. But I'm thinking like I could probably, there's a couple books I want to drop off at one of my numerous little free libraries in my neighborhood. So I'm thinking I'll just donate Onyx Storm. I just want Amazon to do their job. Why am I'm being such a drama queen about this? Okay, I actually have to get back to work, so. Just want my book. I just want my book. But it is officially marked shipped. But they're shipping it through UPS. And UPS is hit or miss on whether or not they would actually leave a package here. I have to leave a note tomorrow morning saying, hey, you got a package for me? Call me or leave it at the door. Well, since we're forced to hang out another day, so today's Thursday. I was hoping today would be the day I'm like, hey guys, we're wrapping everything up. But we haven't even gotten Onyx Storm yet. Thankfully, there is an update. The package is being delivered by UPS. So after our chat session right now, I'm gonna make like a little note to put on the door because UPS and FedEx are notorious for like not dropping off packages because to get into my building, you have to have a key. Like if you don't have a key, you're not getting in the building, which like is a love-hate relationship I have because I wish we had like an entryway where you could at least drop off packages. That's neither here nor there. So UPS is notorious for not dropping off the package, but also then not making a second attempt. Like they'll just drop it off at the store, the UPS store, which is fine. It's close by, but that can take up to 48 hours for them to actually like say they aren't shipping it to you anymore and dropping it off the store. So it's just annoying when you should have gotten your package one day and then you have to wait 2 more days to pick it up from the store. Let's talk about what are these books even about? If you don't know, I feel like there are better people to explain what they are, but I'm gonna give you my darndest. So Fourth Wing is a story about a war college, specifically a war college that's broken up into, I believe, 4. So there are the scholars, there are the healers, the infantry, and then there's the riders. And the riders ride dragons. Rider College is the most gruesome, cutthroat college ever. Your first initiation into the college is to go across this very, 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 very narrow bridge called the parapet. And if you fall, goodbye, you're dead. Students can kill you if they want, as long as they aren't in your same squad or wing. squad. I think it's if you're in the same squad, you can't kill each other. The school itself is broken down into 4 wings. So there's first, second, third, and fourth wing. And within the wings, you're then broken down by like squads. Our main character in this entire series, her name is Violet Sorrengail. And Violet was always slotted to go to the Scholar College, which is super chill. You just have to be stinking smart. And she is, because she takes after her father, who was a scholar. However, her father passed away in the past few years, and she was left with her mother, who is a general of the riders. And so her mother, for some reason, decides that, you know what, Violet, you're not going to be a scholar anymore. You're going to become a rider. Violet has 2 siblings, Mira, who's her older sister, and Brennan, who's her older brother, who is no longer with us. R.I.P. Brennan. This book starts right off the rip with Violet pretty much accepting the fate that she is becoming a rider. But her sister Mira tries to step in, tries to knock some sense into their mother. She's like, Mom, listen, it's Violet. It's Violet. And Violet she pretty much has very tender joints, and they become swollen. They can dislocate easily. I feel like throughout the book, they never actually put a term to what her disability is. She's also very tiny, very petite, teeny tiny little girl, but she's very, very smart. Remember, she wanted to become a scholar, and she's kind of stubborn, a little thick-headed, you know. She's like, you know what, fuck it. If I'm going to this dragon school, I'm going all in. And we're introduced to that mentality once Violet crosses the parapet. She makes it out alive with some dude chasing her down because she's a Sorrengail. And apparently everyone hates the Sorrengails because General Sorrengail, she killed a lot of people. She had a lot of people killed. Not a lot of people like the fact that Violet's going to school with them. But as soon as she makes it across, she runs into good old friend Dane. Dane is like her childhood lifelong friend. And the entire book of Fourth Wing, he is trying to convince Violet to leave. He's like, listen, I'll hook you up. I'll get you out of here. We can like squirm you into the scholar school. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll just sneak you in. Sneaky, sneaky. Perfect. It'll be great. But Violet, now that she's there, now that she's crossed the parapet, now that she's made it through some training sessions, she's like, no, Dane, stop. I am going to become a rider, whether it kills me or not. And Dane's like, okay. But I mean, he doesn't really say okay because literally, even into Iron Flame, he's still trying to get her to leave. At this school, there's a gentleman called Xaden Ryerson. And he's elusive. He's part of a group of children who are known as the traitors to the world. And they were pretty much given the option like, hey, we kill you now, or you can join our ranks by going to our college, but you don't have a choice of what college you go to. You are going to rider school because rider school is where everyone dies. That's it. Die, rider. When you're in rider school, you still may die, but you have a better chance of at least living. So Xaden Ryerson is a part of that group. And Xaden, of all people, would be the most primed to have a vendetta and vengeance against Violet. And Violet knows that. So throughout the entire book of Fourth Wing, she is convinced that at any second, Xaden Ryerson is going to off her. Here's the fun little factor though. Remember how the school is broken up into 4 wings? Well, Violet is assigned to Fourth Wing. And the wing leader of Fourth Wing is Xaden Ryerson. Thankfully for Violet, she has a good squad with her. She has her best friend, Rhiannon. She has her buddy old pal, Riddick. There's a guy named Sawyer. But you go through all of your schooling in your first year, and then you get to this sequence of events called the thrashing. And the thrashing is when you're just kind of like released into this arena of sorts. It's a very large arena. So think of it more like Hunger Games arena, like book 1, where it was just like this giant forest they're in. Think of it that way. So they're in this giant arena where the dragons can choose you or not. And dragons are very particular They don't like feeling slighted in any capacity. If they feel any sort of bad vibes, bad juju off of you, they could just kill you. They could just kill you if they wanted to. Yeah. Through threshing, Violet is just like, I'm just trying to bind up with a dragon, try to be a homie with a dragon. There are 2 unique dragons in this year's threshing. There's, I believe, 100 dragons in total that are willing to pair with a rider. And of those dragons, there is a golden feathertail. Now we'll learn to discover that this golden feathertail is technically still a baby, and babies aren't supposed to bond with humans, but somehow she was able to magically wiggle her way into threshing. And her name is Andarna. And she's just a cute little baby ever. But because she's golden, literally golden, metallic golden, she sticks out like a sore friggin' thumb. But because she's a baby, she's also very small and frail, like Violet. And there are a group of riders who are just the biggest douche canoes on the planet, and they want to get rid of Andarna. But here's the thing. You aren't supposed to kill dragons. That's like a big, big no-no. So Violet overhears this group of people who want to kill Andarna. And she's like, no, you're not. She plays defense, does a little interception on them, tries to stop them. And while she's trying to stop them, Xaden is there kind of watching. He's just kind of observing. He's like, I can't do anything. I can't interfere. I'm just here observing as a wing leader. But he's also there, you know, like telling the dudes who are trying to kill the baby dragon, like, yeah, probably shouldn't do that. You probably shouldn't do that. Also, you probably shouldn't fuck around with Violet because she is violent with those daggers, like between your eyeballs from 100 yards away, okay? He's just like, I wouldn't fuck around. I would not fuck around and find out. Well, these douche canoes decided they wanted to fuck around and find out. Unfortunately for them, the other unique dragon, his name is Tarn. He is the largest dragon of all dragons. People are terrified of this dragon. Massive, huge, black, has a giant, he's a morning star tail. So there's the feather tail, Andarna, cute, precious, adorable, little baby. Tarn, gonna fuck you up. He enters the chat and he fucks people up. I'll just say that. Because of Violet's diligence, Tarn's like, you know what? You and me, we're gonna be besties. But Andarna had the same thing in mind. So for the first time in rider history, a rider, Miss Violet Sorrengail, has bonded with 2 dragons. And from there on, the story continues. Lots of things happen. I don't want to give too many spoilers. There are some spicy scenes in here, but there are way more spicy scenes in Iron Flame. Iron Flame so far, I am still around the same percentage that I was the other day. I think I'm at almost 70% of the way through this book now. Iron Flame starts out with smut. It starts out with smut in the sense that like Violet's still at school and Xaden is now a part of the fleet because when she met him, he was finishing up his last year at the school and they get to see each other like every week. And so they're pretty much just counting down the days to the weekends to when they can bone each other. That's the first half of Iron Flame. Then shit goes crazy. So I will say there are some deaths in Fourth Wing, and one of my favorite characters is no longer with us in Fourth Wing, but he makes a reappearance in Iron Flame in like the best but worst way, and I just cried my eyeballs out. I cried as soon as he showed up in Iron Flame. I just started crying my eyeballs out. And because like you're already at a heightened experience in this sequence of events, and then he shows up and it's just like, I can't. Oh my God. But now we're at the point in Iron Flame where like the first half I was actually really enjoying. Was it a little eye rolly that they were constantly just counting down the days to bone each other? Sure. But there were other things occurring in the book where I was like, oh, this is interesting. But now we're at the section of the book where interesting stuff is occurring, but for some reason it feels very, I'm just gonna say it. Zayden has an ex-girlfriend, and the ex-girlfriend enters the chat. And now it's feeling very childish with the quips that Violet and her are having back and forth together. Like, there was one sequence that I just finished where it was a very dangerous mission, and the ex-girlfriend, her name's Kat. Kat is pretty much being snarky and snippy, and Violet is definitely returning the favor. And I'm just like, oh my God, you guys are both in military schools. You're both in military settings. And as someone who has been in the military and has had romantic relationships with other people within the military, I don't know, for me, maybe it's just my personal mentality on just how I observe and attack life in general. But like, there's work and there's relationships, and the two shouldn't mesh like that. Like, at no point was I ever snippy or snarky to someone else in regards to my relationship in a work environment. After hours, at a party, hanging out, yeah, sure, then I'll be a little brutal, a little rude, a little not so friendly about it. But like, in the moment of a work environment, and in a stressful work environment, you guys are on a stressful mission and you're like being snarky at each other? No. That's how you know these guys are children. So that's the synopsis for Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. And again, I still have to finish Iron Flame. So I'm hoping to do that tonight. And hopefully we can rip right into Onyx Storm after that.
Watch me
It has arrived. My one and only complaint, it has like a slight scratch right there. But other than that, this is probably one of the better Amazon books I have purchased. I was heavily concerned because, as per all Amazon orders, it was loosely just jostling around in a box that wasn't massive, but it was definitely bigger than this book. You know, it just like blows my mind, and I feel like someone else made this point once upon a time as well, but Amazon started out as a book selling website. And so you think like of all the things they're good at packaging, it would be books, but clearly not. I can't wait to start this. I honestly plan on finishing this tomorrow, and then all of Saturday is going to be spent reading Onyx Storm. One of the things I'm so far not really liking about Iron Flame, there's a lot of stuff in this that I feel like could have been edited out. I just finished a sequence. Okay, here, hold on. Spoiler alert for Iron Flame. I'll make a chapter so you won't, if you don't want to hear the spoiler, you don't have to. But like, the big pivotal moment in the halfway point of Iron Flame is we start the book out with Violet and the gang attending their second year at the war college. And halfway through the book, there's like this new head dude in charge, and he is literally torturing Violet, like literally torturing Violet. And that's why my favorite character, who passed away in the last book, made an appearance in this, because she was kind of like seeing him. And that's why I was sobbing my eyeballs out. So the big turning point in Iron Flame is Zayden. He does some damage and pretty much reveals that everyone's been lied to this entire time. Like, the higher ups in the government have been lying to everyone across the board. And the biggest threat to them is not the Griffins and the Flyers, but there's this other entity called the Venin. And the Venin are powerful humanoids that can fuck shit up. While dragons are naturally bred, they're naturally occurring creatures in this world, the Venin are able to magically create wyvern. And if you don't know what wyvern are, they're similar to dragons, but dragons have 4 legs. Wyvern are more snake-like. I believe they only have like the 2 back feet, and no front arms. They are the ultimate bad guys. To kind of let the rest of the world know that there's this bigger threat at hand, Xaden, along with his merry crew, kill a bunch of wyvern and then just like drop them off at the border posts. So now like the rest of the world knows, like, hey guys, our government knows these things exist, but they've been lying to us this whole time. So there's this big like uproar, and pretty much Violet and the crew go to everyone at the war college and they're like, hey guys, here's the real story. You can either come with us or you can stay here. And so a lot of people go with them, but what's kind of then like been the downfall since that big climactic moment at the halfway mark is that we're kind of going backwards into a school setting now. Like there have been some like moments here and there, but the part I just finished is like we're back in classes. And I'm just like, you can't have this big climactic moment halfway through the book and then it just like falls down. I just hate that. I get that the dragon riders still have to like learn how to hone their powers because they do have powers. The dragons provide riders with magic, which means they all have their own little signets. Xaden can wield shadows. Violet can wield lightning. Violet's best friend Rhiannon is able to like teleport things. Riddick, who's one of my favorite sassiest characters on the face of the planet, he can hone in on the ability of ice. So yeah, like these students still have to learn how to hone in and utilize their abilities, but it's just like so weird to have like this big climactic moment and now we're back in school. I don't know. I just feel like maybe they shouldn't be back in school. Like there still should obviously be learning occurring because they still have to learn all this stuff. But I don't know, you have that huge climactic moment and it feels like you should then be in battle. I don't know. I have a feeling that Onyx Storm is going to be a lot of battling. Like this is going to be a lot of battling. I'm not sure how I feel about Iron Flame. I only started not enjoying it, I'll say in like the past probably 4 or 5 chapters is where I'm like, I mean, it's enjoyable, but I feel like, again, we had such a high and now we're just kind of like at this weird stage of the story. Like I know it's going to pick up again, but it like I feel like we could have easily gotten rid of 100 chapters or 100 pages from this book. But that's my personal opinion. Maybe I'll feel different once I finish this. But so far, Iron Flame could have been like edited down. Okay, y'all. So apparently there is some drama with the publishing house in regards to the deluxe edition of Onyx Storm. So last night I was scrolling Instagram, as one does, and I came across a reel that pretty much was stating that the publishing house effed up. And apparently Amazon had to cancel hundreds, nay thousands, I might be over exaggerating there, of orders of the deluxe edition. So thank my lucky stars apparently that my edition wasn't canceled, it was just delivered late. I don't remember like the whole story, but I'll include the reel here. And because I don't know if this is 100% true or not, I'm just going to say allegedly. But yeah, that's just wild. The fact that, thank my lucky stars, I was able to get a copy. So I'm curious if you're watching this and you had pre-ordered specifically the deluxe edition of Onyx Storm. Did you get your copy at all? Did you get it late? If you did get it, was it canceled? I'm so intrigued by this because I had heard some rumbling of drama regarding like the Target deluxe edition. But I hadn't heard anything in regards to just like the standard deluxe edition. Fascinating. Okay, y'all, now I'm like freaking out. So I was looking up more drama regarding the publishing of Onyx Storm, and I came across one where it said that apparently there are like printed copies. Some are 129 pages and some are not 100, 529 pages, and some are 527 pages. And apparently if you have a copy that's 527 pages, it just cuts off in the middle of the sentence. So I was freaking out. So I looked very carefully. I didn't want to spoil myself. And mine's 527 pages long. But from what I can tell, it ends in dialogue. So it's an obvious end to the dialogue, if you know what I mean. It's a period with a quotation mark. So it's end of a dialogue. Someone said something. We'll see. We'll see once we actually get to reading it. But now I'm like, oh my God. It's a book. Why is it so stressful?
Is it your birthday? Are you 5 years old today?
Wait.
Okay.
Good girls. Guys, I woke up at the most absurd time last night, this morning, and finished Iron Flame. And to be honest with you, I don't really have much to add to my spoiler section that I talked about earlier. So if you watch this section, you know. I genuinely believe that Iron Flame could have been cut down at least 100 pages and it still would have been a great book, because guess what? This is a great book. In my delirium this morning, I rated it 5 stars. That might change over time, but to be so totally for real with you, the last 5 chapters were so good. I am obsessed with how this book ends. It's so devastatingly heartbreaking in so many ways, but it also, the plot twist that came, I saw coming. There were multiple plot twists, by the way, but it was just so good. I'm not gonna give any spoilers to how this ends in case you haven't read it yet, but just know that I personally thought this was so good. I don't know if I said earlier, I can understand why some people comparing this to Fourth Wing may not like this, because again, it was just like this roller coaster of ups and downs, things that are happening, things that aren't happening. Like you get this, again, that just a huge climax in the middle, and then it kind of like does a weird deep dive, but let me tell you, it like shoots right back up when stuff starts happening again. But I had a great time. I encourage y'all to read it, but again, just like with the one disclaimer of like, this easily could have been like cut down by 100 pages. But with that noted, I'm going to drink my coffee. I thought this mug and this outfit were like fitting for the event. And yeah, we're gonna crack into Onyx Storm and see where the Imperium takes us. Also, I just want to say, like, whoever was the first author, the first fantasy author that decided that we need maps in the front of books, like, high fives all around. Like, whoever made that life choice, we salute you. Feel bamboozled. I thought the Imperium was a trilogy. Apparently it's a 5-book series. So y'all, I'm like not forcing myself, but I don't know what it is. Like, it's taking me longer than I thought it would to read Onyx Storm. Like, I'm just over 100 pages into this book, and I feel like I've already read so much. This is gonna be like the weirdest reading vlog ever because I've decided that instead of trying to force myself to like try and read this in less than 24 hours, I'm just going to set the book down and just enjoy it. I'm just gonna enjoy the book. I feel like I'm forcing myself to fly through Onyx Storm to create this video for Iron Flame and Onyx Storm, and technically Fourth Wing because we kind of talked about that a little bit. And I don't know, just like finding out this morning that this isn't a trilogy, I'm just like, I'm gonna breathe. I'm gonna take a break. I have quite the hefty reading project coming up. I'm gonna enjoy Onyx Storm. I'm gonna savor it. I'll come back to you guys when I finish it. And so, hi. This was supposed to be an Onyx Storm reading vlog, but it turned into the many adventures of the Imperium with Kayla. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for sticking along. Please no spoilers for Onyx Storm in the comment section down below, but if you want to chit chat about Iron Flame, pop off, sis, because I'm here for that. I'm just gonna have a good time with this. We're just gonna hang out with this, especially knowing that it's gonna be a while until we get a fourth one. I'm just gonna let this simmer. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.
Watch me fly.